So I will head over to the computer for a second and edit things up a bit. I'll be right here. Not that anyone's in here yet, but just feels better to have narration for whoever watches in the future. Okay, so we have the link here. Edit. Go here. Grab this. Go here. Put that in. Like to save. Alright, that should be good. Head over here. Grab this and put this in here. Alright, that should be good enough. Let's check this for a second. Okay, that's good. That's good. Everything is good. Okay. Well, if all of that is out of the way, I guess I will get started on today's comic page. You know, there really should be a way to move everything up. But I'd need something that would, like, prop up the stand here to, like, this high, I think. I don't know if I got... Well, I got enough stuff for that, but do I really want to adjust this on stream? Well, nobody's here yet. If I could find... Alright. Huh. Well, there's plenty of books here. Okay, let's get these. Alright. Yeah, Grandma was nothing if not a reader. Uh-oh. Now we run into the problem of, should I be balancing the camera like this? Which the answer is obviously no, but, well, I've done more dangerous things before. Oh, that's a perfect view. Don't worry, we'll get everything all sorted out. Yay. No. Don't fall. Please do not fall. Oh, that is very high. Yeah. Oh, dear Lord. Edward, should you do this? Obviously not. But such worries about safety have never stopped me in the past. Uh-oh. Don't worry, we're not fallen yet. Not yet. Not yet. Move that there. Move these here. Alright. That's raised up a bit more. Okay. Let's see. This is... Well, that's better for my stance, at least. Now I get something to raise this up with. So, let's see what else we got here. Grandma's got plenty of books for everything that I could want to, like, elevate, so... Yeah, all these old paperbacks that are all busted up and probably not many people would read again. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Lift you up. You're not wanting to move. That's great. Here. Do you reach back here? Oh no, it's over here. Okay. Undo this. That should unlock. Oh, there is the movement. Okay. Balance those. Balance these. This is probably not raised up enough, but we are going to raise it a bit at least. Stay up. Stay up. Okay. Balance that. Oh dear. Oh dear. And set it down. Okay. Yeah, it's probably not up enough. What's this book? This could help. Or that could just send all the books toppling to the ground. That works too. Come over here. All of you get over here. Ayayama. Okay. Okay. Yipe. Now let me guess, that will cause all the other books to fall out from underneath this. Right? Right. That's perfect. Ayayama. Well, at least now I can shove these in here for the moment. And then once I get those books that fell back up and readjust this again, the ones I just put in will fall out probably. Oh. Now that slides in there. Alright, youch. Let's get this book Seems thin enough. Okay. Okay. That's, better, I think. I need the pencil sharpener. It's right here. Okay, well, that was a nice waste of 10 minutes. Welcome to the actual stream here, to the 0 people that are here. This is Edward18 working on the next comic page of my comic of Heroes and Legends, the 14th comic of the Dreamscape series. We are in the midst, or the beginning parts, of Doko's match against the Claw, the final match of the tournament. And Doko has just missed the Claw in his initial attack, which was to be expected. The Claw is a opponent that has been shown to dodge quite effectively against others so far. He's obviously not going to be the simplest of enemies, given that he's made it all the way to the finals. But Doko is not exactly a novice when it comes to fighting himself. A novice for the tournaments, since it's his first one he's ever been in. But he's always wanted to be in one, so he's trained enough with the old sage to know some moves, and obviously for those that have followed along in the series thus far, you have seen all the adventures that Doko has gone on, and crazy, crazy enemies that he's fought so far. Emperor Illuminator, the King of the Gorgoks, the Diabolic Angels every other issue. And now all these crazy fighters that he's been up against. Opticlops and Clampjaw and the Claw here. And this pencil is very, seems to be smearing quite a bit. So thankfully, I've got another pencil to work with right here. I've had a song by Bell and Sebastian stuck in my head most of the day. It's a song my mom and dad used to play in the car when I was little, back in the 90s. I think they were on the soundtrack of Juno, but I've never seen that movie. I just know Bell and Sebastian from all the CDs my parents had of them. Which they had most of them, I think. They're a pretty catchy band. I set a light up here that was... I've been going through storage and stuff and moving things out of the storage unit for Mom, like the entire storage unit, and it's been taken a couple of months by myself. But one thing I found, there's a light that was in there that you can, like, it has a clip, and I just clipped it onto the easel up there. And surprisingly, the light bulb, after over a decade of not being used, it still works. So it's a bit handy to have that. Oh, I know. Oh, I can't put the food down there because then all the eraser shavings will get in it. Ow. Sorry that I stopped talking. I put this corn in my mouth like popcorn, and there was a kernel that was unpopped, and it like blew up in my mouth. So I was having to maneuver around to try and not bite down onto the hard pieces that were scattered about. Did not want to injure the teeth at all or get the stuff slid in between the teeth. But yeah, we got Doko here. I've been, obviously, over the last week, I've had that Invader Zim animation that I was finally finishing up. I'd had it in the works since before the Dragon Ball review, but, that was like 6 months ago. It didn't really get into production, I wouldn't say, the Invader Zim animations, until about 4 months ago. But even then, it took it'd been like the main project aside from this that I'd been working on. And this last week was just me finishing things up on it, so I hadn't really spent as much time on the comic here. But hopefully with that out of the way, well, I need to animate like a birthday card for a friend that I always make like pictures for and stuff for their birthday. But other than that, and the move in the storage unit, and the taking care of aftermath grandma stuff with mom, and possibly streaming video games, other than all that, I should be getting back, hopefully, into a more regular schedule with the comic making. Yeah, I got the basic sketches of this part of the comic sketched out. Haven't really gone into too many details yet on this page. But that's what the stream's for. Hopefully we can get everything all shaded and get into the actual line work, the finalized line work of the page. I should probably put some shadow back there to differentiate from where the wall of the stands is behind the arena floor. There we go. Got some people up here. They'll just be in silhouette, probably. I say probably as I'm doing the silhouette sketching. So most definitely. Got some more popcorn. No hard kernels this time, thank God. That is the worst, when you get just a hard object, like a piece of a chip or something, just suddenly slammed up between your teeth. That is the absolute worst feeling. Yeah, Doko is spinning around here after landing. There will be a little sketch impact type of effect right here to show that he's landing after the failure of like being unable to hit the claw. And then he has some speed lines to show he's whipping back around. Then we got the hand down there. Kinda want to raise all this up more. That's gonna take too much time. I already wasted like 7 minutes elevating everything before we got into this. So yummy. Okay. Get rid of the shading there. Oh, right. His earpiece. I probably do shading a bit differently than some comic artists these days, but this is the way I've always done it. These have always been traditional comics, and there's only so many ways you can do the shading with a pencil, so yeah, just do it the way I've always figured to do it. Etch in some blackness, smear it with the finger, erase out whatever the light would be touching on the object. It's always been a pretty simple process to me. And then we have Doko making his next attack here. I have been watching the some reactions to the Super Mario Brothers movie. I myself have not seen the movie, but with all the reactions I have seen, and the ones that I've seen before Nintendo took them down, I'm pretty sure I've seen like the entirety of the movie by this point. Which, it is better than I thought it'd be. At the same time, it's Mario. It's like the most basic of the the popular video game mascots to me. But it was fun. It was kind of odd having like the Donkey Kong stuff in there. Is like, because with Donkey Kong, with modern Donkey Kong, it almost feels like that's a completely different world than Mario a lot of times because of the whole Donkey Kong Country series. Like, Rareware, it felt like Rareware was making the Donkey Kong Country games without, like, thinking of it being part of the Mario world. So it feels more like Donkey Kong would be more appropriate to have show up in Banjo-Kazooie or Conker's World or something. Whereas with Mario, it feels like, yeah, he's in Mario Party, but like that's about it, other than like side games and stuff. Okay, I got that. I need to check something. Yeah. Come over here. Let's see here. Oh, that's what I thought. Let me see this. Top chat. Okay, there it is. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I thought somebody was in the chat here, but my screen was saying that there were still 0 people watching. So, hello, Shadow. I am sorry to not have noticed you there. And hello to Daniel. Okay, now I can look through all this chat and see what I have missed. Well, it is nice that I will have some more reference to work with for the animation thing then. Yeah, that is absolutely due to Rare with Donkey Kong. It's just odd after like so many years of the Rareware type Donkey Kong to have Donkey Kong and his people and stuff just thrown into the Mario world in that movie to me. It's fun. It's like he's a really fun character and stuff and just takes any moment he can to berate Mario. Like, yeah, well, your dad was right. Just, it's a fun time with that movie. Oh, I wish there was a way to get the chat to stay on screen here. Live, top, hide. Hide all chat, no. Top. Live? Live. Okay, there we go. Yeah. And now let's check over here. There we go. And there we go. Yeah, I figured that you were still working on things with the Tibby stuff, Shadow. I assume that had the animation part been a thing that was starting up, obviously I would already probably know about that. Unless you had somehow gotten me from the future to work on it and not told the present version of me. Yeah, art does take quite a while to do. Now I have a... Can I bring... No, I can't bring this over because of the books I have this set on now. Well, I have always wanted to do a bit of time travel. Trying to get this adjusted here to make it more comfortable. Ow. Let's push this there, I think. Okay. And pull this over here. Oh, that's slightly closer. Yeah, I don't know if anyone... I'm pretty sure no one was here for, like, the first 10 minutes, but, I spent, like, 7 minutes readjusting everything with old books Grandma had and, like, propping things up here. So it's a bit easier to work with here. I've got a lamp up there that's clipped onto the easel this is on. So that's what's giving the light here. It's just a lamp I found in storage while cleaning stuff out, and it is surprisingly the light bulb after over a decade of not being used still works. So that was nice that I did not have to replace that for this. Figured since I had the lamp here, I may as well use it. But I hope everyone's day is going good today. Other than the morning pains yesterday, it was a pretty pleasant day for me yesterday. After putting up the animation, went out for sushi, and it was a nice time. Trying to... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Almost fell forward. I am now kneeling on that stool thing that I got my knee stuck in the other stream. Trying to come up with a good expression for Doko as he punches. Nose comes out there, don't want it too far down against the lip. Then it'll look like the nose is just fused into the lip, kind of. And give him some angry eyebrows. Misses the claw again. Then he winds up for another punch. The claw, right here, the claw puts his, claw up, and Doko hits it, and the claw will put the arm around Doko's arm, and the other arm will go along the side of the body and just flips him over. And that's how. There's no talking on this page, it's all action this time. Which makes it easier for me, because you know how long it takes for me to write in the words in the word bubbles on stream. Yeah. Yeah, just another day, another piece of art to make. Then I gotta get on to starting the animation for the friend's birthday card. I call it a birthday card. Obviously, it's not a card if it's animation, but it's a yearly thing. Yeah, the word. Usually I come up when I'm making the comic pages for the dialogue. What I will do is before the sketches are fully done throughout it, I will write in what I want the characters to be saying alongside the pictures so I have a general idea of where to put the word bubbles. But obviously, I don't write them dark or anything. They still need to be erasable so that you can adjust it for when you need to. Yeah, this is comic making is something I don't think there's really a complete set way to do it. I think everyone develops their own way of creating comics as they do them. Because, I had no idea how to do comics when I got started. All I had was what I saw of, the old 60s Spider Man comics and Dragon Ball comics and stuff. And that's pretty much what I had for, an idea of what to do. There were web comics, but usually those were really boring to me. They were just the old one panel, two panel, three panel, four panel, right next to each other, and it's yeah, that's serviceable, but it's not as exciting as having all these different panels here and stuff like that. Although the Spider-Man comics from back in the 60s, the Steve Ditko ones were pretty much just as generic a lot of times with the panel placement. It was just all in rows, and it wasn't until like John Romita really that they started doing different types of panels, I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, for me, when it comes to the comic making, everything is part of the piece. The panels and word balloons and all of that are just pieces to like be manipulated. They're all like they aren't set in stone type of this because this is here, it has to be this way. It'll I just view it as like, oh, that's a drawing, that's a panel. Those two are interchangeable as what you can do with them. And yeah, my mind works in more vague ways of how to utilize the things that are made for the page. And obviously, there's like fourth wall moments where characters will either acknowledge other panels that their panels are next to, or jump into other panels, or shatter other panels, and things like that. Yeah, it's something that I've just sort of grown into, I think, the more as it's gone on. Originally, I think the fourth wall stuff was like, I think I was thinking of how when Goku first meets Yamcha in the comic, during their fight, Goku ends up punching Yamcha so hard that he hits the top of the panel and breaks it. And I think that was like a moment that always stuck with me from when I was little for how you can manipulate the comic page. It's probably one of the early inspirations for that type of a creation for me. Yeah, we got the earpiece too much into the face there. Since it's at this angle, it's always a bit different with Doko, because he has ears underneath the goggle earpieces, but since he doesn't have those exposed, it's different than like if you were making an ear for a character, because like with an ear it would go like that, so it needs to be about here is where the goggle piece would be. Yeah, with the goggle piece, it's a lot blockier and it juts out more than an ear, so you have to take that into account when making it. I am so... It's kind of nice feeling to have the Zim animation done now, after, like... It took a lot longer than I thought it would, but I always love in the end how the animations I make turn out because of like how much I put into them. It was a more relaxed piece, but it still had the characters moving in some pretty interesting ways at parts, like when Zim yells and like his mouth gets giant and clamps down, and then when he turns to Gur immediately afterwards, you can see his head, like, separate in the smear frame and stuff. Not as complex as other animations I've done, but still a fun time to me. Okay, his throat would be there. His collar's there. Let's see, I have the panel down there. I was having some trouble with this because as I was making it earlier, I had drawn too carelessly with the actions on the page, I'd ignored where the panel lines would be. So I had to keep adjusting this middle line because it kept intersecting with like this above or this below. I had to keep fidgeting with it to get it to like an appropriate placement. Let's see, his leg is up there. Okay. There we go. Another day, another comic page. Take me on, take on me. Now since I started thinking about the Mario Bros. Movie, I've got Take Me On stuck in my head now. They used a lot of songs that I would not have expected to be in that movie. No, it's not for Brooklyn. And one thing that's like, I get that like people that are just the general audience aren't going to understand it, but it is a bit like it's cute at first, but after enough videos of people going like, oh, so this is how it is when you do this in the games, and so that's how the backstory is in the games, and it's like, no. Like, if you follow along with the games at all, obviously this movie is not the backstory. This is not how it is in the games. This is just another version. It's taking a lot of stuff from the games, but it's also taking things from like the cartoon version and even I think parts of like the old live action movie version sometimes. There's it's typical general audience perception. It's not I never expect them to really understand any series that they're watching something of. Thinking of like a franchise more as a set series instead of multiple different series. There's not really any harm in it. It's not like Mario's the most complex thing ever. Now, Sonic, on the other hand, I actually found there was someone that did more proper translations of like Sonic, Wendy, Gitlord, I think. They got like taken down because of false copyright claims and stuff, but I found their Sonic Adventure subtitles again for the Japanese version, which I am happy because it is so much better than the English dubs of the adventure games. The adventure games are pretty nice, like in English, it's a fun time, but once you see what they're like saying in the Japanese versions, it's like, oh, this makes a lot more sense saying it this way, and that sounds a lot better how they're saying it and stuff. And some things just like are more confusing in the English version because it feels like the voice actors for the English version, like the English team did not pay attention at all to how things were said in the Japanese version, and certain little pieces of information get lost at times, I think, in that transition. There's like the part where Eggman is in the ending of Adventure 2, where he's going like, I would have done this years ago if I could, when the space station is like about to crash into Earth. That never made much sense to me. But I think what it is in the Japanese version is he's saying, I would have stopped this a while ago if I could. I think what he's saying is he could, if he had the ability, he'd have stopped the space station before all that stuff started happening. I think that's what the intent is with that part. What the? Oh, what is this? A new pin chat. You can now pin a message on the top of your live chat. What? No. Why did you pop up? Ow. 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 Oh. Well, that would have been interesting as a song choice for the Kong part. Thematically, it'd make more sense, but yeah, no, that's I figured the licensed music thing would be an Illumination idea. I figure the reason the movie turned out for the Mario movie as good as it looks, like as good as it's presented, I'm figuring it's probably due to Nintendo insisting on things being done a certain way. Because if it was just done the normal Illumination way, I do not see the Mario movie as having turned out all that good at all. I'm fairly certain it's due to Nintendo's involvement, or what they have in place as demands for the movie is probably why it ended up turning out as good as it did. The people making the movie obviously are fans of Mario, but when it comes to Illumination, I do not have much faith in them. You always gotta keep an eye on those types of companies. Take me on, take on me. It was a bit odd getting used to Mario talking not like Mario at first, but as it went on, it's like, okay, this is this character. Honestly, the most appropriate voice in the movie I found was either probably Peach or Bowser. Because Bowser's just, I'm Grr monster guy, and like, it doesn't take much to make a good voice for him. You know, with Peach, she's Peach. So, Luigi was pretty nice. And every time I saw the penguins, I'd just be thinking of one of them being TC Nick 3, since he always uses a Piplup as his avatar when he's doing Mario Party on the Party Crasher streams. Just this angry little penguin guy. Always trying to cause trouble. Now, you see, Brent has 5 stars. You don't have to. Why are you taking from me? You motherfucker! It's so funny to just see get angry and stuff. And it was nice seeing King Bob-omb and King Boo there. Kind of sad with King Bob-omb. He just shows up, falls asleep, and gets exploded. I do wonder if it will ever become like like, the Mario movie is good. I'm not gonna say it's, like, bad or anything. But I do wonder if there will come a point where video game movies actually try to present the, like, worlds the way they are done in the video games, as opposed to, like, different adaptations and attributes from different adaptations to make the movie version. Because, like, I would love to see a Sonic movie where it's like, it's just Earth. There's no Mobius, there's no other world. It's just humans and animal people just live on Earth. And it's how it always was in the games. And it's something I've always wanted to see, but they never ever do in anything other than the games. I know it has a lot to do with what is a popular perception of how a series has been done before. But it feels like the original way that most series are done could be just as successful as what becomes famous in different parts of the world for them. Ouch. Ouch. Ow. I have been kneeling on the stool too much. Get this out of the way. Oh, yeah. Mario Party is a great way to lose friends. I'm sure if we set up a Mario Party for the Discord, it would quickly devolve into like Handgun and Masasa just trying to murder each other throughout the match. Okay, now that I'm standing, I want this raised up more, but I'm not gonna do that because all these books will fall over that are holding everything up. And bam bam. Sweet and salty popcorn. That is what I got. Let me just stretch a tiny bit here. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Oh, just a second. Ow, ow. Stop that. Oh. Don't worry, people. I'm still here. Just hold on. Okay. I am back. Let's see here. Okay. Alright, I am here. and nobody's here. Which means I can take the opportunity to eat another bite of popcorn. No one will be around to judge me. Oh. Well, I guess the stream is just not telling me when people are here now. Hello again, Shadow. I guess you can judge me for eating the popcorn. Uh-oh. Nope, oh, don't, nope. Pillow was fallen on the stand. I figured while I was... Yuck. Yikes. No, I was taking a bite and I got some popcorn in my teeth, so I was trying to dig at it with my finger until I realized my finger is all smeared in graphite. That did not taste good. But I found, while I was away, here is one of those big hardcovers of the Ninja Turtle comics that I have, that I mentioned in the Discord. Just figured I'd bring this out since you showed interest in that the other day. Got the first, I think, 10 issues in this. Yep. It's some of my favorite stuff of the Turtles. Very diverse scenarios, not all just the Foot and Shredder and stuff. One of the things I like the most is, like, between the issues, you get these notes on what they were doing while making each issue, and sometimes get concept art and stuff. Yeah. You got the Utroms back there. The cover pretty much goes over all the stories that are in the book. Well, the stand seems to have moved a bit. Let's adjust it. Yeah, one thing that always got to me over the years, like into the later 2000s and stuff, is anytime you would get into a conversation, the general fans of the Turtles would always go, like, when you're talking about the brain creatures and stuff, they'd always say, "Oh, is that Krang?" And it's like, they've done a whole TV series now where they've called them Utroms. Like, that's what they originally were. I know that it's because the first cartoon was so popular, but it's like, it seems like something that should be general knowledge by this point, is that they're Utroms. The original cartoon was just one guy that was called Krang. Well, Disney does like its princesses. That's something I never really understood, is the fixation on princesses with Disney. It gets kind of old to me. I know it has a lot of their old stuff dealt with old fairy tales, but it's like, the princesses were like never why I watched the movies. Like, I like Aladdin because it's fun. I don't watch it for like Jasmine or anything. Watch it for the stellar performance of the villain Jafar, and of course Genie. Usually the princess characters are pretty bland to me when it comes to Disney. Like, an exception would be Vanellope from, like, Wreck-It Ralph. But at that point, it's pretty much a joke is all, pretty much. I'm getting a bit low on the screen here. Want to raise this up, but what do I do with this? Let's see, what do I have to work with over here? No, no. Not gonna use that. Do I have the 3DS out here? I could maybe put that underneath the sketchbook. Yeah, I'm looking for something at the moment to put down here. I'm trying to... What do I have here? Ouch. Wait, I got a lot of... No. Oh, that's my old... Oh, the digital cameras. Could those work? Would they even lift it up high enough? Why am I going over here? I need to get back this way. Maybe grab this? Okay. Hopefully I've got something that can prop this up better. I went digging around. Yeah, for me, if I were Disney, I'd just not even worry about princesses. I'd just make whatever character works and not have there be some stipulation that there has to be a princess. Oh, and digging around for stuff to elevate this, I came across this old guy in my old toy box I have here. His leg's broken off, the other one's still here. Had a switch on the back. Now, when you pressed it, his eyes lit up. Obviously, the battery's long dead, though. Me and my brother each had one of these Batmen. Yeah. Got the Batmobile in the closet. Let's see here. Oh, wait, I still need to prop the stuff up. Okay. Let me see. I need something there. Just waste more time. Oh, the pencil sharpener works until it slides out. Uh-oh. Don't open up. Let's see. Do I got? This will not stay on there. No, it will not. That is way too thick. Okay, well, I am wasting way too much time looking for stuff to adjust this with, so I will put 2 cameras right there and just set it like that. What if we do this? Maybe? Maybe? Please? Maybe. Okay, we'll go with that in a interest to not waste way too much time. Oh, if you want vintage stuff, Shadow, I got plenty of things here from over the years. I can pull out all sorts of knickknacks and stuff. Especially now with the boxes from storage here. That I've always had things that I hang on to in boxes and everything. Well, inspiration can come from anywhere, Daniel. However, that does not mean that I will necessarily think that the things that the inspirations come from are the best works. Transformers is certainly cool, but that original show is a pretty garbage 80s cartoon at times. Let's see, we have the fist impacting... Well, it's not... The claw doesn't have a hand, but impacting where the palm would be there. Alright, and that'll have all sorts of lines around there. We got that. That's where Doko's head is. There's the shirt. The chat keeps popping up on the screen now, but it's not doing anything. There we go. The chat is... I don't know what's up with this thing today. It keeps telling me there's fewer people than there are in the chat, and then it's like not updating the chat itself. It's very finicky on the stream today for some reason. And we got a little face of surprise for Doko down here as he's getting flipped over. See, that's supposed to be the sleeve of the arm. So that'll be the hand. There's the finger. And unlike other cartoons, I do all the fingers that a person is supposed to have when I do the characters that have normal hands. Obviously, Tesley and Silveronians and stuff do not fall into that category. Okay, what are you doing? Alright, I just want you to update properly, Mr. Stream, so that I don't have to keep checking you every minute or so. This technology. You would think with the advances that have been made, little glitches and stuff like this would not be a prevalent problem or anything. Although, you would think a lot of things wouldn't be a problem that are a problem that Google has allowed with the site in the various years it's been dominating it. I get so annoyed with, like, all the ads these days on YouTube videos. Like, every day now, it's almost every video seems to have, like, 2 ads every time it stops to do an ad break. It is so irritating. Let's see, is that arm... Yeah, that's good enough. We have the claw's claw coming in down here. So we'll have the shading back here. For Doko, we'll have the shading over here. Then, yeah, we'll do a lot of speed lines, probably. There we go. Okay, well, I will just assume that this stream, I just need to check update the chat manually every few minutes to see if anyone said anything. As this does not seem to be wanting to operate on its own today. Don't know what I did to it, but apparently it is annoyed with me, so it's not doing its job. Well, out of curiosity, Shadow, how is your partner in the project? What are they thinking of how the thing is turning out? I don't know if I've heard anything about their input so far. Let's see, is that was that... I'm trying to see if that's where the panel line was. Let me get the ruler. And let me update the chat. There we go. Oh, and for the 2 people that are watching, for the 2 people that already know everything, the link to the Discord is in the description, and the Patreon is in the description. This is completely meaningless to say, because no one is here, I don't think, that is not the usual person, but if you want that information, it's down there. Even though you've already got full exposure to that stuff. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. The stand is coming apart. Oh, well, if you guys are working on something together, Shadow, you are probably gonna have to talk to them. It's, I'm sure they aren't, like, angry or anything. I know that they enjoyed the commission that you had me do. Or not, the Patreon picture. Sort of count Patreon pictures and commissions as the same category at times. I have got Balyer's commission over on the window over behind me. And just set it down and haven't really touched it since I finished it. Just got straight to work on Invader Zim animating, and all that stuff again. And now I don't have to do that. Ow. Ow. Oh, well, it is good to be friendly with people. There is all sorts of goofing around that goes on with recordings. I know I've told you guys about my bloopers that I have had in my recordings before. It's just more material to either make use of later in blooper reels or to keep to yourselves and have the memories of. I always love seeing the bloopers at the end of Power Rangers. How they'd just put all the outtakes in the credit sequences. Bulk and Skull were always hilarious to watch for that. I remember they'd always censor when the actors would curse and stuff if they got hurt. And I think I remember one or two sex jokes even as like, not like purposeful explicitry, just natural reaction type of quips that they would do. I can never really remember what I have written as the kanji on this, like, sliding, like, curtain back there. I think it says, like, staff or medic or something, but it's in kanji, so I can't read it unless I look it up. It's where they go to take people to the healing pods and stuff that you see earlier in this comic. Alright, there's the leg. So that's like that. Oh, and if anybody is here that had seen it before, I decided to go ahead and order one of the issues of that, what was it called? Crazy Food Truck was the manga that I saw in the bookstore the other day. I didn't get it from the bookstore, I just found it for like the first volume of it for $10 online, so I figured, well, this is cheap. I guess I'll get it. No harm in getting a book at that price. What I wanted to do was go on to get some external hard drives to increase the space that I can have to archive things with, but apparently the prices have gone up on hard drives now, so it's a bit tougher to find. It's kind of annoying, but I'm not out of space or anything yet. Okay. Then this will be Doko falling. It's so nice that I don't have to write any words in here. It gets kind of annoying to, like, sit through on stream with not really having any talking going on while I focus on what the words need to be. have his leg coming out like that. Might be too awkward like that. There we go. Ow. Okay. Let me move the stool here. Okay. I think I'll get to the actual drawing here for a bit. Okay, so the stands are up there. Hopefully if I put my hand up here, it doesn't block the light too much. Some texture there. And then we got Doko spinning, so the speed lines will go around. Okay. Have a speed line come through the other lines here. Leave a little gap for the where the speed line comes through. Okay. Speed line, gap. Okay, there we go. And let's go like that, I think. Oh, wait. I should lower this so that you can see the top of the page. Oh, there we go. Okay, speed lines. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm the greatest when it comes to speed lines, but I have done them so much now that I think I'm getting more of a second nature to how to make it look. Okay. And then have the fist here. How does that look? Okay. Get rid of this. Because that's the thumb there. That would mean the finger would go there. And there. And with the fingers, when all this motion is going on, it doesn't really matter as much if you can get all the fingers, just as long as you get enough to imply the hand is there. With speed lines, you have to leave out parts of the objects that are being affected by the speed for it to actually look like movement, I feel. And, like, what you'll do is there'll be motion lines, and when it goes across a part that is like if my hand was moving, how do I explain this? Okay, if something was moving in front of my hand, the area that the speed is would be a bunch of lines, and the fingers would have gaps where the lines are. So between some of the lines, not all of them, because it'd get too cluttered if you do it that way, but between some of the lines would be like dots to imply where the object is behind the lines, if that makes any sense. If you see how I do motion lines and objects in the comics, you will understand what I'm talking about. It took me a while to really catch on to that, though. A lot of it was looking at like Dragon Ball and like old Jack Kirby action and stuff. There's only so much you can do to convey motion in a still image. But if you have done it for long enough, you get more of an understanding of how to trick the eye as the person's looking at it. Yeah, it's movement in still images is kind of like creating an optical illusion, I feel. You have to understand how things blur in reality and try to replicate that in your own fashion, however you think it'll work to, like, imply that kind of effect. Everyone does their things differently, but for me, I tend to just leave out parts of the objects that speed lines are going over and dot in where the object's lines would be behind it. Or between the lines. I'm so happy that I don't, like, fill in all the blacks by hand with a pencil now. That wasted so much time over so many years of the comic. When it's like, I just need to fill it in on the computer. Doing it in real life is like a complete waste of time. I think there's a finger there, and there, and there. Yeah, just going over Doko for the 1000 millionth time. It is kind of nice once you get to the point where you can, like, just draw the character the character without doing, like, any beforehand sketching. It won't look as good if you do it without the beforehand sketching, but once you get to the point where you can, it's nice feeling to be able to do that. I think most of the audience that has seen the Invader Zim animation so far has come from Tumblr mostly. It seemed to be getting passed around on there a bit last night. Has had more views than a normal animation of mine does. Although whether that remains a rising number remains to be seen. There's the chin, which leads into the cheek. So a little B. I think that's a line for the guide of the fist, so I don't need that anymore. Then Doko's got his head tucked down into like his collar area, so he's kind of bent over here, blocking out parts you would normally see of his body. There's the belt. The leg. Sometimes with the knee I'll make it more blocky looking, but other times it's just as rounded as the rest of his proportions usually are. There we go. Let's see, there's the back of the arena floor. There we go. Update the chat. I'm getting hungry. I'll get a cookie. Thankfully, I've got Yamcha here to put the snacks up against. I'll put the cookie on Vegeta here. When you got gashapons, you may as well use them for something. I do wish America had better gashapon than we do. America has never seemed to really care about the quality of its toys, which has always been kind of sad to me. Just sacrificing what could be better childhoods for its youth, just for more corporate cheap garbage. But that is America. America. Be the American that anime thinks you are. Honestly, I never knew there was a stereotype for America growing up. I just figured that, like, well, everyone on the planet is here, so there's not really a stereotype to begin with, but I think looking back, the one I got exposed to the most, I think, was Shaolin Showdown. Because it's like Clay is a literal cowboy, and he's the American member of the team. I didn't know at the time that that was a stereotype, but I just thought he was the cool cowboy guy. Yeah, Omi always seemed like the one that was the destined for greatness type of character of that show. Not necessarily the leader in the end, but the one that would be like the important one for like what matters for reality type of character. always had the Starfire level of not understanding slang and stuff going for him. Alright. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Put in the tournament stands wall back here. Sometimes I make it a solid line, but other times I break it up as I go down. It gives sort of a... It's just a way that I've always done that. Sort of a line disappearing in the... as you get further away from the object. Then I add in texture lines, a little crack here on the wall. Alright. Here we go. Some texture on the ground there. Maybe a little crack here. There we go. And then there's a little... I don't have the foot on the screen, so I guess I won't do the impact effect there. Feels like it makes it more cluttered up than it needs to be. Maybe some... yeah, I was gonna do some speed lines here to show that Doko was flying in from off-screen from when he, like, missed the claw. Let me... Maybe put some vibration lines in there to show that he's coming to a stop. Stretch out this one a bit. I think that'll do. Get rid of this down here. It's cluttering up the face. And yeah, I think that'll do for that panel. There we go. Get back into place. There. Stay. There we go. Okay. And that panel's pretty much done, I think. Uh-oh. Okay. Moving on down. I'm gonna get up to stretch a tiny bit. Don't worry, I'm right over here. Oh. Just getting some stuff. Now. Hayato. Alright, alright. Back over here. Do that. Do that. And check over here. Okay. Heading back over. Making another panel. Now we got Doku's fist over here. Flying towards the claw. It's in motion, so we gotta have some speed lines along here. Not too many, or else it'll be just a clutter and a mess. I was wondering if this would be a mess up here as I was doing all these speed lines, but it turned out better as I kept working on that top one. Yeah, speed lines are always a tricky thing. You gotta balance them out. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to flood it with speed lines, and then it just becomes an absolute mess that you don't want anyone to look at. With this, you just put in some speed lines here and there when it's a more solid object. So that's the arm. There's where the elbow is. So the sleeve of the outfit would be here. And then we'll just do speed lines around it for the background. Having speed lines for the background is... you can usually just sort of fill it up. It makes it look all actiony and contrasted against the more solid object. Okay, have some speed lines. Maybe just one going here across the arm, the lower arm area. Maybe a speed line or two in the black area of the arm. That'll make the lines pop out more if it's white lines against black. Okay. There we go. Ba-da-dum. beauty succeeds. At that final moment I cry. I always cry at endings. Oh, get me away, I'm dying. Get me away, I'm dying. Get me away, I'm dying, yeah. Oh, I'm dying, yeah. I'm dying, yeah. Oh, I'm dying, yeah. Oh, get me away, I'm dying. Get me away, I'm dying. Get me away, I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. That is a Belle and Sebastian song. It's one I've had stuck in my head all day. I think I made his eye too big there. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I had him having some spinning around speed lines. So we want to do this. Alright, that should be good enough for those speed lines. Let's see, can I think the eye's pretty set in place there. It should be okay for the eye. Yeah, that's about the only thing you can really see of his face is his eyes and the skin around it. But there are times where you can get little glimpses of what's under the hat. Still annoyed that they never showed what was under Double D's hat in Ed and Eddie. I remember in the special features, Danny Antonucci said, in the special features of the DVD of the show, that they would show what was under it in the movie, and they didn't. Oh, hello, Shadow. You're back in time for me showing the speed lines of the comic. Yeah, whenever I do speed lines, something passes in front of the object, I dot in the outline along some parts of it between the speed lines to imply that there is an object behind the speed lines. And no talking this time, just action. I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. Oh, get me away, I'm dying. 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 Oh, I'm dying. My parents played a lot of Belle and Sebastian when I was younger. Our car rides would usually have their CDs incorporated into them. Alongside things like The Jam and The Beatles and The Clash and stuff. The classics. And one song I always heard people go on about Sweet Home Alabama is like the incest song or whatever. But once I actually heard the thing, it was like, oh my god, this is just a ripoff of like Werewolves of London. That is like literally the exact same beat as that song, just with different words they put over it. Growing up, I always had Werewolves of London is one of the songs my parents would play in the car. Ooh, Werewolves in London. Ooh. And it's like the exact same thing. It was just it felt less like, oh, this is a like song to make fun of, and more like, I am offended that you did this. This is not how the song's supposed to go. It's just my personal experience with Sweet Home Alabama. But I'll always have the car ride memories, at least. Werewolves of London is a far better song, in my opinion. I remember Team Canada. There's every so often during their Let's Plays, pause unpause would go like hold me closer, Tony Danza. And eventually Vintage Beef would like get on him. Like, that's not the song. And Pause is like, I thought that was a real song. And he's like, no, that is a real song. It's not called Hold Me. I think it's Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer, if I remember right. It's a song I always know when it comes on, but I don't know how it goes unless it's being played for me. The Claw's a kind of simple design with his all-black outfit. Makes it easier to draw him. Not really any details to draw in. Made the shirt a bit too long, I think, though. Ouch, ow, ow. Push the stool out of the way. Ow. Ow. Don't stretch that way. I'll tear open whatever body part's inside of me. Thank you for the cookie, Vegeta. Oh, if you want a vintage Shadow, I got a few other toys from over in that box. Here's the old suitcase that I had of Batman the Animated Series. And, here is all of the figures that are inside of it. We got a uncloaked Dick Grayson, Joker with his squirt gun. Oh, there goes Catwoman, Batman. I don't think that's Electroshock Batman, but they had so many different Batmen you could get. There was like a variant for like every occasion. None of them which appeared in the show, but there's all the figures. I'm sure I have a few others in a box, but that's all that were in that box that the big Batman came out of. And then we got Tommy from Power Rangers. Press the belt. He flips into the Green Ranger. Then we got the old Fred Flintstone that was in the China cabinet when I was little. Yabba dabba doo! I always thought Barney was supposed to be the idiot out of the two of them when I was little, just because of the voice he had, but looking back at the episodes, he's usually the voice of reason, whereas Fred always has these, like, terrible ideas that are gonna get them in trouble. Well, I could show you things for days, Shadow. I've got all sorts of figures and things here from all over the years. I have most of the old Earthworm Jim figures. Got a bunch of Metabots. How was I going to do this, Doko? Well, what I need to do is sharpen this pencil. Oh, we got one of the people that were interviewed in the video recently. There's nothing in comparison to creating a voice. I had to listen to those voice lines for so long. That was like 4 months of just hearing that over and over. I think the idea that Dib was as hated as he was is kind of what I bring to the table. Not very well liked. It just felt like a perfect way to sort of end the video, is have them all hug him to cheer him up after that, and then Gurr tries to do something that he thinks is nice and gives a present that's actually a bomb. The body is a bit too low there. Let's see. Head's there. Chest like that. That's the waist. So, that's the pelvis. Okay, I think that'll work. And just have the claw moving out of the way again. Although the leg should probably down there. Yeah, boo-boo. Yeah, this is one thing I can't do as well on the computer, is putting in speed lines, because to get them really looking like speed lines, I gotta have it at an angle when I do it. And it's just, I can't do that, really, without physically maneuvering the page as I do it. I'm sure I could emulate it if I tried hard enough, but it's not something that comes all that naturally on the computer. Let's see. Okay. Then the ground is back here. I think the announcer is back here as well. Nah. Let's have the arm like that, maybe? Yeah, I think that'll work. Bop, 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 bop. Now that I have moved, my stomach started to growl. So I'm assuming I'm getting hungry here. Which means that I definitely will not stay for the whole thing to finish this all up. We're still working on it for now. I have the fist there. And then the thumb comes out and goes over the finger. Hopefully that is showing the claw dodging well enough. Preferably have some speed lines going past him. No, that makes it look a bit more like he's just getting hit. I think if we have some lines down here, that'll show him moving out of the way more. Yeah, it's a never-ending process figuring out how to draw it until the page itself is complete. As you work on it, you get more ideas. Usually. Sometimes it's pretty set in stone, but other times it'll be something that you're questioning until the end. Okay. Let's have the shirt. A shirt like that. Sleeve like that. And the pant like that. Well, there goes my ruler. Well, it would be so nice to have everyone in Discord just be able to meet up for lunch or something. Everyone, Handgun sharing his Resident Evil scores. And Shadow showing some of the audio that's been recorded. Valier showing off the dog pictures. And the usual ones that don't interact much, just silently popping in along the side and observing. There we go. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, that's no invitation if you don't want to display any of the audio. I was just imagining a nice little scenario of a get-together. Draw, 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 and then animate, animate, animate. Then play a video game and talk over it, and maybe fail if I am not familiar with the game. So far, the Earthworm Jim 2 stream has probably been the worst for the video game ones. Did not remember that one as much as the Earthworm Jim 1 one. I think that led to some pretty subpar commentary. Make the mouth a little wider up at the top there. The Mega Man Zero one's probably the one that was like the most adventurous, I think. The Earthworm Jim 1 one was like probably the most informative. Yeah, Doko's goggles will come down as the fight goes on. Right now, though, it's only the beginning of the fight. My fingers, the back of them's getting all dark and blackened from the graphite. Yeah, the announcer back here, looking on with surprise. After the opening speech, he probably wasn't expecting as frantic of a starting performance as he's getting from Doko here. Yeah, the announcer, he sometimes, he wants ratings and stuff, but he understands certain things that are going on that the audience doesn't. Like, he'll give shocked reactions like them at times, but at other times he'll be looking with more suspicion at the fighters, because even though he's not a fighter, he's been doing it for so long that he knows how to tell certain things about fighters that normal audience members wouldn't pick up on. Yeah, but it's also whatever reaction makes things more exciting or funny for the page is also a factor in how things are drawn. Got the claw there. Ugh. Ow. Let's put in some speed lines there. Maybe take out the speed lines that are here. It gets a bit too muddy if you have too many lines going on. Abbayato. There's where the arm, the black part of it ends. Okay. And then the ground of the arena back here. It's a simple design with all the blocks for the panels of the arena, but it's effective in differentiating it from the background behind it. Yeah. No, not that close. Move it back a bit. Okay. Yeah, that works. All right. Let's see here. Want the angle going like that and that. And maybe like that. Let's see, the stands, it would be up here. Okay. I'll lift that higher. This is riveting commentary, I know. Mumble, mumble. Mumble, 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 mumble. Mumble. Mumble, mumble. Mumble. Mumble, mumble. 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 Yeah, no. The stands need to be higher on the right side. What am I doing? Got a ruler. Okay. That is better. That's where it'll be. I am going to get some more popcorn. Yeah, how do I get over this like this? Okay, here we are. I am singing Mario. Uh, I wouldn't be too concerned, Daniel. I don't think Doko would even quite understand the concept of a name being dragged through the mud. Okay, I am back. I got more popcorn and more figures. And here's this old guy. Yeah, Tesley and Mech are not the most honorable of individuals. And they're always sort of looking out for themselves. They're friends of Doko, but they are not above manipulating him at times. Whoa. I want to say there's a universe where Doko and Tesley are together, but I can't remember exactly. It's a Doko that... I think there was one, because it's a Doko that isn't as stupid as the normal Doko, which I guess is like all the Dokos that aren't this Doko. It's mainly just the normal Doko that's an idiot. He's never a genius, but other Dokos are smarter than him. just because of things that have gone differently in their pasts. Tesley is the main girl of the comic Shadow, the most reoccurring one. The big boobed girl that is always with Mech and Doko. The archaeologist of the group. Stacy is the childhood friend of Doko, but as Stacy, she's only appeared so far in the last couple of comics. She has been hinted at before, though, ever since, like, I think the second comic. I always had her plan to appear, and you can see a picture of her, I think, in the kitchen of Doko's house in one of the early comics, but it's just taken like a decade to get to the comic that she shows up in. So, yeah, she's a character that will pop up every so often, but during the earlier sagas is not as prevalent. Yeah, I was thinking last night of how a comic would go of King Shadow. King Shadow and the events that happened in 1997. It's before he loses his body. It leads up to when his body gets destroyed and he becomes his supervillain self that you see throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. It'd probably just be a one comic thing. It deals with the Immortality Research Project, which is a very pivotal event for the franchise. Yeah, before Doko, before the war, before the Freaks. Even before Barbot, probably. 1997 is the events that sort of jumpstart everything. Yeah, I made Tesley sort of because I've never sort of the same reason I did Mech. I'd never done characters that were like a pervert character, and for Tesley, a fan. Well, I'd done fan service characters before, but never a protagonist fan service character, I don't think. So that was part of the mentality of her, was just giving her giant boobs and everything, and having Mech play off of that. Design-wise, they have things from previous eras as like characters from previous eras as part of their designs. Like Tesley, her face and hair are not made up for her originally. Yeah, once the comics were decided to take place in the future of what I had made up when I was younger, things from the older adventures in the timeline ended up affecting how certain things ended up looking for certain characters in the comics. It is a very, very long franchise timeline-wise. I think the furthest back that things on Earth happen in the franchise is like the 1690s. No, there'd be stuff before that, because, well, the first stuff that's really detailed is in the 1690s. There are mentions of things back in, like, I think the late 1400s and 1500s in, like, Japan back then, but it's not, like, main material. It's just certain events that are relevant to certain characters. The first fan service character I really think I did was probably Angel Amy. She was the one that was supposed to have the biggest boobs of the older stuff. And then Sake, I made her up later on, but she became incorporated into those older adventures because of what her history entails. But Angel Amy and Jake Diabolical are villains. Not good villains, but they are villains. And they are the first Diabolic Angel duo, the failure villains of the franchise. Okay, we got a ton of speed lines here. Lines all over the place. That's one thing that's kind of annoying at times in Dragon Ball Z is in the anime, a lot of it ends up later on just devolving into teleporting everywhere, which is not nearly as interesting as seeing like things actually drawn out and the movements actually being done. Okay. Well, let's just put in some little guides for the silhouettes that'll be in the audience. Yeah, Mekmek and Tesley and Kala and Bloodsuckle are all in the middle row at the stands that are opposite of the King Shadow statue in the building that the fighters are in. Not really sure where Stacy is yet, but she is going to be shown during this. And there'll be a part where she's like yelling, "Yeah, Doko, kick his ass." And then the claw will like notice and look over and glare at her. Yeah, Stacy's not too happy about the hawker losing, being defeated by the claw, but she also knows that the claw is skilled and has reservations about him, that she gets too into seeing Doko fight him that she ends up making that comment. Yeah. Okay, I got the silhouettes in there. Maybe some clouds up here. There's a cloud. There'll be stars back there. Let me see over here. Let's get another paper clip here. Put it down like that. That'll keep the paper underneath in place. I always have pieces of paper behind it so that while I'm drawing heavier, the lines do not like imprint into the page behind the one I'm working on, because then that'll mess up how the next page looks. Yeah. Okay. So, do you guys got any plans for today? Obviously, I'm gonna make dinner after this. Not sure whether I'll do a pizza or huevos con chorizo. I've been wanting huevos con chorizo for a while, so I'll probably do that. But after streams, I'm always kind of worn out, so I don't really want to go through the effort of making stuff, usually. Ouch. Let's see down here. Okay, so we'll have the curtain like that. So we need to move the symbol of it over here. There we go. Yeah. Okay. And now I'm sitting on both of my folded legs on a stool, balancing here. Will Edward fall over? Will this be the end of all streams? We shall find out. Yeah, while I was at the sushi place the other day, I was talking to the waiter, and he was surprised I told him how long I'd been on YouTube, and he was like, "Oh, you've been there from like the beginning." And I was like, "Yeah, about a year after it started." We'll have the curtain like that. And then there's stones here. Yeah, after all that Zim animating, I just felt like I had to get sushi. I have it very rarely these days, but now that I've found that place, it's kind of nice to have that as an option again. One that I can actually walk to. Oh no, no pillows here, Shadow. I'm just balancing as best I can. Alright, there's damage back here to the stand from when Doko blasted Opticlops in the previous match. Got some cracks in the wall. Now, don't worry, Shadow, the stand is not going to be the thing that takes me out. I've got the usual body stuff going on that'll do that before that. Yeah, I had sushi and then ice cream afterwards. I got it right this time. Dessert after the meal. Had a nice cone of raspberry chocolate. After a helping of salmon roll and tuna roll, and 2 egg rolls. I wanted to try more stuff, it's just that with how prices are these days, it's not nearly as affordable to get everything you want. If I could, well, if I wanted to waste money, I'd have gotten the tempura shrimp roll also. That's a roll I will always love. Since the earpiece is gotta put some shadow lines in there. And there we go. Oh, hello, Sideburns. How are you doing? We are just working on the comic here. Page 57 of comic 14 of my series. And again, for those joining in, Patreon and Discord links are in the description. Pirate Robot says hi. Bubbo. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I think there's a universe where Doko, where he's smarter, he's like, has Tesley as a girlfriend and has been with Aquashi before, but I can't remember much of the details of that universe. It was kind of just one of the side universes, I think, when I was originally coming up with different ideas for different universes in this stuff. The main universes, I think, is this normal universe, the universe where Doko is evil, and then a universe where Doko does not exist, and Mech is like the hero character, and Tesley is the villain character. I think those are the main universes I have thought out. Oh yeah, I've got 14 issues so far of the comic Sideburns. It's I've been making these for about, I think, 12 years now. I used to do a comic a year, and then I got to doing like 2 comics a year. But with how long this comic's been going on, this is a lot longer than most of the comics. The longest one I've done so far, I think, is in the 70-page range. But this is like in the... This is gonna be in the 70 or 80-page range for this one. Normally, they're around 40 to 50 pages, sometimes less. It all depends on how the story pans out each time. Yeah, but this is the final match of the tournament that Doko has been entered into, as his friends have run out of money after the previous saga. And so they have goaded him into competing so that they can make money by betting on him, and him hopefully winning the championship and winning the prize money alongside that. Which I guess, if they're betting on him and they lose, like they're betting everything, and they lose both the prize money and the betting money if he loses here. So he's not concerned about money, because he doesn't really need it to survive, I don't think. But he's just here to test his abilities and compete for the sport of it. He's a very simple, not too smart character. He thought that Tesley was a dog at one point because I think Mekmek called her a bitch, and his goggles flipped down, and they like display things for him, and it connects into his brain through these earpieces. He can take it off, but when they're on, they connect into his brain, like they link up to it. But like the goggles were defining that the word bitch relates to a dog, so he thought, oh, well, Tesley must be a dog, even though she's just a person. So he is not that hard to, like, trick and stuff. But he is very good at fighting. At least compared to other characters. Obviously, the guy he's fighting here is better than other characters too, because they're both in the final match together. Let's see. Oh, right. This, there's some damage back here to the arena floor from, I think, the first match of this comic. That's, the scar along the floor from when, like, the claw scraped his claw along it when Decker was fighting him. Yeah, the backgrounds make the creation process of the comic take longer sometimes because of how much detail is put into some of the backgrounds. Other times I may forget a few details, and sometimes just move things along by making the backgrounds more simplistic or making them completely black to contrast the characters. Making completely black backgrounds usually makes it look like the characters are popping out, more than if it were like a normal background. Or it emphasizes the focus on the character. Yeah, the arena's a tiny bit beat up here, as there's the claw mark there. There's the area there that Doko blasted with, like, the energy from his hand when he was fighting Opticlops earlier. And I'm sure, given the prowess of these two characters, the arena is probably going to be a bit more damaged by the end of this. Do a little line going underneath the eye there. Yeah, doing that kind of a line underneath the eye usually makes them look more tense. If you put a lot of lines down there, it sometimes just has the effect of making them look old, but here it's the tension. Now I'm going to turn this because there needs to be some speed lines along his fist here. He's pulling back after he missed up there. Then he's going to throw another punch with that hand. And the claw will catch it. And then he'll flip Doko over. Oh, and Daniel, if you are behind at all, be sure to drag your timeline bar to the right. I have a feeling you may be lagging a bit if you are on the failure villain thing. Ow. Ow. Ouch. Ow. Ow. Oh. That... Okay, for all of you out there, do not kneel down and sit on your legs for too long. That was not fun to get up from. Okay, hopefully that looks good enough speed line wise. It should work. How I draw objects behind the speed lines will come into play here, where I do multiple little lines or dots instead of normal lines where the speed lines are going over the object, to give the implication that the object is there without breaking up the flow of the speed itself. All of these streams will be great material for when I release the making of DVDs of the comics. There is no way that people would just sit down and watch all of these streams with how much I get up and take pauses and stuff. Although you guys are here, so I guess there is an audience for it of some sort. Okay. Yeah, this page was sort of me coming up with a way for like the claw dodging Doko each time until the final hit. It didn't really matter what happened before the final hit. It's just you need to know that Doko keeps missing, and then when he does hit the claw, like, counters it. There we go. Since I was talking about sushi, I want sushi now. Well, there goes the old radio remote. And since we can see Doko's anger growing here, we'll draw in the ability to see the pupil of his eye. Originally, I had no eye color planned for, like, anyone except for Sake. And even when you see, like, the colored versions, like the colored pages of the comic, I usually still don't do the color for the eyes. I just make the pupils white with a dot in them if I show areas where there would be color. But Doko's eye color is blue to match his outfit. Likewise, Stacy's eye color is orange to match hers. I'm not sure what the other characters are, though. Oh, well, I hope you have a good shower, Bowyer, and I hope the dog is doing well today. Dee da 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 do. Ba 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 da bo. Be da 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 do. Da 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 dee da 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 do. Ba 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 da bo. Be ba 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 da bo. Ba 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 da. Oh, right, the panel here is exploding over the panel that this image is on. Okay, and his lower lip comes out over the face. Here's the lip there. Although, sometimes it looks better without a lip, and other times it looks better with a lip. I'll have to go back and forth on that to really decide for this one. We didn't start this website. It was always a simple world. We didn't start the website. No, we didn't start it, but we're still called artists. Willy Wonka virgin nerd didn't say the magic word. Best day ever, Michael Moore. Holy crap, a dinosaur. Punch the keys, for God's sakes. Yeah, I love old YTMND. Such a grand part of internet history. So many days of high school spent just looking through what people would call memes now on that site. Back in the days of albino black sheep and... get the lines more like that. These lines like this have some lines going through the speed lines here. Alright, okay. There is a lot of speed lines on this page. Hopefully it's turning out alright. Didn't say the magic word. Best day ever, Michael Moore. Holy crap, a dinosaur. Barrel roll. Batman stares into your soul. Had it with these effing snakes. Punch the keys, for God's sakes. Okay, there's his hair. And no, do not get off of the ankle that fast. That was a mistake to sit like that. Okay, let's get the panel lines here. This is a instance where the action on the next panel is like causing this panel to bleed into the one we're working on right now. So have it just jumping out. And then we'll have... Where'd the ruler go again? I know it fell. Oh, I can just do this. Yeah, it'd be like this, I think. Just to have a guide. There we go. That's how it'll be. Whew. Okay. Ow. That is a lot of... Okay. Ow. Oh. Crick, crack. Joints popping into place. Yeah, Doko is not the most happy looking here. Great for expressions. Ugh. Ba. Yeah, I'm debating about getting off. I'm getting a bit hungry over here. There we go. You know, this is a pretty simple panel to do. Just Doko's fist against his claw hand thing. Let's see, it's the right fist. Okay, so the thumb wouldn't be shown there. Just an abrupt stop as he collides with Claw. All of these attempts to hit the Claw have finally just ended with him being countered by him. And it is more of an attack than he's like. It's quicker than any attack the Claw has done in any of his previous matches so far. And then the background of this is just going to be a lot of lines, I think. Should it be, or should it? Yeah, it should be. Yeah, because otherwise there's no sense of impact if I don't do that. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to stop here after this panel to get something to eat for dinner. I'm thinking huevos con chorizo. Nice little Mexican breakfast dinner. See here? Okay. Then I guess I'll be getting off after this. Yeah, I was looking up a series that I have on. Well, I have on my computer 2 cartoons that I thought were made by maybe the same people, but I don't think they are after some research. It was Ruby Gloom and Growing Up Creepy. I think they're both Canadian, but I don't think they're made by the same people. I think Growing Up Creepy was done by people that would merge into Moonscope, which are the people that ended up doing Code Lyoko. Or they did Code Lyoko before that. I don't think it's the same team, though, that did the two. Yeah, Doko's head needs to be bigger there. I've always wanted to do a Code Lyoko music video, but I feel like I need to go back through the show again, because I haven't seen the entire thing in years. I know I remember most of the episodes, but I feel like I need a fresh viewing of it again to really nail down the important scenes of it and all that. That's what I try to get in my music videos, is sort of a summary of the entire thing. And for that, yeah, you gotta know what pieces to use. For the Amphibia music video, I had a lot of the stuff collected up, for a lot of time while the show was going. And it was mainly just, I had most of it made, the music video, before the final episode came out. It's just, I needed the final episode for the final parts of the music video. So once that came out, got footage of it and put that into the end. And had it out quicker than I've ever had a music video out of any series after it's like ended. I'm not liking Doko's face being there. The arm, let's see, the arm, so his arm is like that. His arm should be like this. The arm itself was too small, so that means probably get rid of the face entirely, because it shouldn't be that close to him then. Which makes it easier for me. I don't have to draw the face, that means. Come on. Or the head, since you can't see the face from that angle. Okay, so that's the elbow. Maybe some hair there. Even then, that's a bit much. But okay. Got the face, got the arm. Maybe some speed lines to show that it's moving. And then it stops. Okay. And let us do the lines around the image. Gives a sense of impact, like extreme impact or zooming in. It focuses the attention on the middle of the page when you put like lines all around the action. Or the middle of the image, not the page. Let's see, there's... So... have the hat like that. That should work. And despite everything Doko's trying, it's just not working on the claw here. Just immediately gets blocked once he actually does hit him. Okay, and I think this'll be it. Maybe put some little chunks flying out of the point of impact there. But I think this'll be it, because I'm getting hungry now. And it's been 3 hours and 10 minutes. So I thank you all for coming. I hope you've had a good time here. It's been nice hanging out and talking. I got to see some Power Rangers. and some Batman who has completely dead batteries, so you can't see his eyes light up. And of course, we've had the comic here. But I think this is it. I am hungry, hungry, hungry. So, Edward needs to eat. And I hope to see all of you in the Discord later. Farewell for now, everybody. And have a good night.